This is what we've been building for. They had to be mentally tough to get here in a 5-set comeback against Florida. He's asking them to be more mentally tough right now and make better decisions.
Overpass, and Abagu was there. Point Texas.
You sure got to give Nebraska Sydney Townsend credit. She's hitting some great serves. Those two aces and then another serve that put lots of trouble, put the passer for Texas in lots of trouble, creating a scoring chance.
Two aces, two good blocks for Nebraska. The difference so far in this set. Pancake dig for Prieto Sarame and then crushed by Bedard Hani.
And how about that second touch by Chiako Abagu, a back set? That's really the only place she could go because her hitter, Prieto Sarame, was on the floor. She's on the floor. Where does it go? It has to go back. Bedard Hani crushing it.
Hunter has to run for that. Took him out of system. Point Texas, 3 in a row out of the timeout to tie it up. And now John Cook wants to chat. Well, Holly Rowe just reported about how Jared Elliott was looking for toughness from his team, and he got some.
Nice reaction and a little bit of frustration or impatience on Kelsey Fiend's part. She didn't have the advantage there. She's got to find a place to put that in the court, but cause a little bit of trouble. Get it back better than you give it.
Let's see if this is a turning point play for Texas here in the second set. The defensive play by Prieto Sarame to pop it up.
Yeah, they sure seem to take life out of that. And Abagu making the perfect choice. The one hitter that she had available to set puts Bedard Hani in a perfect position.
Here in Nicole Dalton. Much better pass there, and Hunter goes over on 2. Point Nebraska.
This is really Obagu's responsibility. She's a little late getting there. When you have the slide attack, the middle blocker has to help control that setter.
That went inside the antenna for Texas. Abagu was there to slow it down. Bump to Fiend. Off the block and out. Point Huskers. So out of their timeout, they score 2 in a row. Hunter. Continue to go after Amy Neal. Bedard Hani up against one blocker in the middle.
What was interesting during the semifinal match, as Texas was battling so fiercely with Minnesota, Coach Elliott was heard on the bench saying, we got to trust Bedard Hani more and set her more. That's a play they've rarely set, but they set her in the middle. We call that a 2-set, just about 2 feet above the tape in the middle of the court. She puts it away.
On the overpass, right to Fiend for the kill. Yeah, just like Fenty for Nebraska in the semis, Bedard Hani, her coach said she is unfazed, an amazing mentality that she shows under pressure.
She's earned the trust of her team over the course of the season. Didn't really have any opportunities. Didn't only play 9 out of the first 16 matches.
The best match of the year was in the semis as Abagu is blocked. Wong Orantes able to pop it up. Katie Rolfson, no. Transition for Nebraska. Fecke with the tip.
It's read by Collins.
Bedard Hani well off the net. Turned back by Hall. Good back row D, back to Fecke, and nobody was there. Cross court for the kill. Timeout for Texas. As Michaela Fecke having a coming out party tonight in the national championship. 13 kills, hitting 600, Karch.
And just keeps getting better and better as this tournament has gone on. You got to admire how these freshmen are rising to the occasion on the biggest stage, maybe the biggest crowd in the history of NCAA volleyball.
Let's check in with Holly.
Well, as you mentioned, Michaela Fecky of Nebraska is just a true freshman. In her very first NCAA tournament game, she came out with 12 kills. I said, hey, why weren't you nervous? Why have you been so comfortable in this big environment? She said, you know, I always played with older teams. She's been on the national team. She's been on the U18 team. She said, I don't know. I just feel really comfortable. We're seeing that from her demeanor. Actually saw her kind of calming down one of her older teammates in the last huddle. This poise and this composure from the freshman is something to see.
And one of the reasons she gives that credit, she's played in world championships representing USA, played at the highest level and in the various age group competitions. So she's faced the best of the best on the big stage. That's great preparation for something like this.
Well, you being the national coach, what kind of things do you try and foster for the younger players with the veterans to help them build those kinds of skills?
Well, I think it's really important for them, if possible, to try to take advantage, participate in the USA pipeline in the high performance program. It certainly was a big benefit for me as I grew up, getting to play for the junior national championship or world championships, and just seeing what's possible out there is so inspiring.
8 kills in the first set, 5 more in this set. And a point for Texas on the touch. Can they get Neal and Sarame back on track? The Big 12 Player of the Year, 6 kills in the match, and now it's Abagu to serve. Hunter in the middle, Rolfson. Neal. Amy Neal now with a couple in a row.
Well, you got to admire it. Each time a team has come out of the timeout, they come back stronger, they respond, they get the side out, and then at least 1 point. Neal taking a little something off it, but hitting a sharper angle, finding the floor.
Going to 25, got to win by 2. Back to Fecky, through the block, right at Abagu. Collins able to run it down. Here comes Neal again, looking for 3 in a row, won't get it. Back row, Albright into the block. Some traffic on the Nebraska side. It's a tight set. Here comes Texas. Collins in the middle of McCage. Kept alive. Albright with a nice play. Back set. Benarhani. Point Longhorns.
Well, this wave of red was ready to absolutely erupt. What a great save. If Becky had come up with that stuff. Albright, great hustle.
Hunter again, that set into the net. And the setter drifted in as well. The violation, point Texas. They go up 1. And Nebraska will use its final timeout. And Texas is 4 points from tying up the match. And they've done it with a 4-0 run. First couple of swings were from their All-American Amy Neal.
And I sure like how both coaches are using their timeouts to calm their teams down. It's so easy to get overamped and get to a much higher activation level, but to try to bring it back to an even emotional level, that the Texas team has talked about that too.
Let's go back to that, probably the longest point of the match, and it goes to the Longhorns as we went back and forth across the net. Terrific plays on both sides.
Yep, and it was near.
Becky went to the left hand, by the way.
She had to, exactly. Here's that save by Albright. The crowd, looks like she hit her hip there. The crowd was so ready to erupt. If Becky had gotten that left hand to turn the ball in, actually it went off her right hand and just avoided. Oh, she wanted that one. Look at her face.
That's freshman on freshman in that one. We talked about how it may come down to a play from one of the youngsters tonight. Certainly Fecchi has been all over the place, leading everybody with 13 kills.
And remember how that rally started. Chiako Bagu digging the heat from Michaela Fecchi, cross court. Something a middle needs to learn to do if she wants to play international volleyball. They're expected to play a more complete game. Bagu doing it here.
Quite often the middles will only play in the 3 rotations up front, but at Team USA, in your gym cards, you like those 6 rotation players.
Exactly.
Here is Bagu with the serve.
She causes problems with it. Nicely done.
Fecchi dug up. Collins couldn't quite get there.
I think Amy Neal has to jump in. That's too far for Collins to go. Amy Neal, but part of the challenge is with almost 18,000 people here, even if Neal calls it, it doesn't mean Collins will hear it. So she has to wave her off too. Use visual, not only auditory communication.
Wangarantes serving. Neal. Bad pass. And it's cleaned up by Bedard-Hani.
Bedard-Hani has just been amazing, hitting .358 in this tournament. Tonight, .583. She also, just like the great starter Fecchi, 7 kills, no errors on 12 swings.
Dalton floats one over. Hunter to Fecchi. Got it.
And the other thing, that's one of her favorite things to do. When she gets that kill, she will point to her setter. Thank you. Way to make me better. She loves to give credit to the people who don't always get the credit when she's the finisher, but not necessarily setting up the play.
Dalton, Collins, and the block gives Nebraska the lead. The responsive roof from the crowd.
Yep, Ralston working really hard to get in that play. Again, that's not an easy play for a middle to move that quick laterally and get there.
Neal. Back row Ralston. Dalton will set it back to Neal. The double block is up to slow it down. Fecchi. Set point. Service error gets Texas the point. It's another set point coming.
But if you're Nebraska, you look over and you see Michaela Fecchi hitting against a 5'7" Chloe Collins. Nebraska likes that matchup.
Off the serve, can Fecchi clean it up? Blocked by Texas, a chance for the Horns to even it up. Prieto Cerame, long. And the second set goes to the Huskers in a 2